Welcome back into afternoon break. People are starting to get out on the water as the weather gets warmer, but they aren't the only ones out there. Around this time of the year, more manatees are spotted in our region searching for food. Our Michaela Romero takes a boat ride with a wildlife technician to track down a manatee named Sammy G, who is a frequent visitor to Georgia's coastal waters.
Just last year, we found this gentle giant in our Savannah River, and since then, Georgia wildlife officials have been able to tag him, and we are gonna go see what he's up to now. Let's go. Trip Kolkmeyer is a wildlife technician who has been tracking and observing our manatee friend, Sammy G, since August.
He stayed in the Savannah area for a little while, headed over to South Carolina, and then in the fall he migrated back south to Florida, spent the winter in central and southern Florida, and then just a few weeks ago this spring he migrated back north and has been hanging out in Georgia, around the Savannah River and its tributaries.
He says although these large sea animals are no longer on the endangered species list, it's important to track them to get a sense of the overall health of the environment. But before we started our search,
get both arms through there, and then you've got the little buckle there in the front.
Safety first. After that, we hit the water. Kolkmeyer says on average it takes about 1 hour to track down a manatee, but this time around it took us a little over 2 hours. He says although they are big, they can be hard to spot.
Today we were fortunate that we were following a tag manatee. The manatee has a belt around the base of his tail with about a 4-foot long tether and a buoy with a satellite transmitter that sits at the surface. And oftentimes, like today, that might be the most you see.
Luckily, we were able to observe what we needed from a distance.
He made us work for it. He was not entirely cooperative. Once we located the manatee, he was traveling for the most part. And there was a lot of wind and a lot of current, so it made sighting a little bit difficult.
But the work is worth it, as the information they collect is vital.
Through these observations, we learn what they're doing when they're in those areas. And then we can use that on a broader scale as it relates to conservation of the species.
Because he says by tracking these animals day to day, we are one step closer to a better environment. In Savannah, Michaela Romero, WTOC.
Now here's a live track of Sammy G's last known location. Looks like he's been hanging out in the Little Ogeechee River near Hunter Army Airfield. To learn more about manatee tracking and Sammy G, you can visit our website at WTOC.com. Now let's take a live look outside from the WTOC Farrah and Farrah Tybee Island sky.